Today we're gonna be making apple pie. So to start, we're gonna wash our hands for 2 minutes. So starting, we're gonna make the crust, and we're gonna need
2 cups all-purpose flour, 1 teaspoon salt, 1/4 cup water, and 2/3 cup Crisco shortening.
which is this. Yeah.
First step, add the flour and the salt in a mixing bowl.
Then you're gonna get your 2 tablespoons or your 1 teaspoon of salt. I mean, it may take a second to fill up, but then yeah.
Then you add the salt.
Then you're gonna mix all the ingredients until they're fully mixed.
And then
We're gonna separate 1/3 of it into a different bowl to save for later. And then 2/3 of it will be used next to finish the crust. Next, get 1/4 cup of very hydrated water. Looks about 1/4. Now using the 1/3 mix, you're gonna add the water to it, and this should make your dough and thicken it up. Now mix.
Now you get 2/3 Crisco shortening and add it to the 2/3 of flour and salt mixture.
All right, so now we're gonna mix the Crisco stuff into the 2/3 bowl until it gets to like a pea-sized ball. You're gonna preheat the oven to 425.
So now you add the 1/3 mix to the 2/3 mix. And then you mix these together.
And then your dough should start looking like this, a little more like pastry dough, more thick. And yeah. Next, you're gonna take the dough and you're gonna, actually first you're gonna spread some flour so your dough doesn't stick. And then you're gonna take your dough and you're gonna start rolling it out. And then later you're gonna have to cut it in half for 2 different crusts. After you pat it all up and start mixing it a little more, it should start looking like that. And then soon it'll be ready to roll out. Now you're gonna start rolling your dough out. Make sure to flour the rolling pin so it doesn't stick. And it'll start getting there. So you're gonna wanna roll it around 1/8 of an inch thick or 3/16. Generally thin, but not too thin to where it falls apart. Sometimes you need to add more flour so it doesn't stick to the rolling pin or the counter. So we just broke it into half, so you're gonna need to split it in half, separate it. Yeah, fork works. Should be thin enough for a fork. You just set that aside for now. And then you're just gonna roll this out a little more, and then it should be good to go. So when you have your dough rolled out, you kind of want to fit it to the dish you're using. So you're going to want to cut around it and then just add a little bit to each side that may be missing some room. Once you remove it, it should be looking like a circle, basically the size of your pan or bowl, whatever you call it. This is what it should look like in your pan and formed directly. So you're gonna roll your second one out basically the same way, and then this one doesn't have to overlap a little bit. This one could be spot on because it's gonna lay just like right flat on top.
Next step for the filling, we want to peel the apples. 5 Granny Smith and 3 Honey Crisp.
You want to wash them first.
Next step, you peel the apples. And now you want to cut the apples into slices. You want to cut into fourths, and then you want to cut it into thin slices.
Then you're gonna want to use the claw so it doesn't.
And then you want to do this for the rest of the apples.
Yeah.
So once you finish cutting your apples, then you're going to want to add the nutmeg, cinnamon, lemon juice, and sugar.
Next, you want to add 2/3 cup sugar to sweeten it, and you can add more later if it tastes too sour after you add your lemon juice.
It looks like it's a big opening.
Okay, now you want to add a dash of lemon juice. That's good.
Next, you want to add 1/3 cup of flour. Also, after each of these ingredients, mix them in, stir them up, make sure they're kind of evenly distributed. Don't want to like just a bunch of lemon juice on one apple.
Now you're gonna add 1 teaspoon nutmeg and 1 teaspoon cinnamon.
So you want to keep mixing it until it makes the apple like juice come out of the apples, like how it's doing right now. It looks a little wet, and you're just gonna keep mixing it for a little bit, and then once you see that every apple looks like that, you can stop. All right, next you want to add the apple filling into the thing, and you want to make it like a dome so it rises as it gets to the middle, and evenly distribute it on the sides, so then it'll evenly cook. Once all your apples are put on evenly distributed, you can kind of see how it's like a dome and rises on the side. Should be ready to cook. Now you have to put the top of it on, kind of like a lid, and you're gonna put it in the oven and you should be done. Before you actually put the lid on, you want to rub the side with water so it sticks. And then, so picking the top up, you want to roll it around your rolling pin so you can easily pick it up without it breaking. And then you'll just slightly unroll it over the top to evenly put it on. So now you want to press the sides around so it sticks and you can get that nice look on your apple pie. Sorry. And then all the way around. Make it even. You can use a fork or you can use one of the other tools that they make. Now for the top, you can score it and you just kind of create some lines. And then you should be done. You can stick it right in the oven. For cooking it, you want to put, again, a 425. And you want to keep it at that for 10 minutes. And then you want to switch it to 325 for 35 minutes. And then just check it. You can watch the crust. Should look good. Last step, put the pie in the oven, middle shelf, and make sure the top one is closed, and then you're done.
And then you want to set a timer for 10 minutes.
And then after that, 35 minutes at 325 degrees. All right.